the digestive system and nutrition. Alright, so major functions of the digestive system is that it breaks down food and drinks into smaller pieces so the small intestine can absorb the nutrients into the blood for cell repair, body growth, and energy. So the basic nutrients that are needed for the human body that the digestive system absorbs are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and vitamins. So the path through which food travels down the digestive system is known as the gastrointestinal tract, or the GI tract. The GI tract starts at the mouth, then goes to the pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and ends at the anus. The pancreas is another organ that helps facilitate digestion. Alright, so the first stop of the GI tract is the mouth. The mouth has salivary glands that are triggered from the smell of food, and along with teeth, saliva can help break down the food particles as the food enters the pharynx. Alright, so the second stop is the pharynx and the esophagus. The pharynx helps take food in from the mouth and also helps with swallowing. The esophagus is a muscular tube that pushes food into the stomach through contractions known as peristalsis. The lower esophageal sphincter lets food into the stomach and closes to keep it in. The third stop of the GI tract is the stomach and small intestine. The stomach is a sac-like organ that uses gastric acids and enzymes to help further break down the food particles into a liquid or paste consistency. The small intestine uses the enzymes from the pancreas and bile from the liver and peristalsis to further break down the food. But its main function is to absorb the nutrients from the already broken down food particles. That's why it's known as the workhorse of the digestive system. The small intestine is made of the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. The duodenum helps break down the food, while the jejunum and the ileum absorb the nutrients. And any waste not absorbed into the bloodstream goes into the large intestines. So, the fourth and final stop is the large intestine, rectum, and anus. The large intestine is a 5 to 7 foot long tube that facilitates defecation. It absorbs water as solid waste passes through and takes about 36 hours for the solid waste to completely pass through the large intestine. The rectum is an 8-inch chamber that notifies the body whether solid waste received from the large intestine can be evacuated. If not, the rectum holds the waste until evacuation is possible. And if it can, it enters the anus, which is the final stop. The anus allows solid waste to pass through the body through two anal sphincters, an internal one and an external one, to control whether solid waste leaves the body or not. Another organ in the digestive system is the pancreas. The pancreas produces digestive enzymes to break down the food in the duodenum and the small intestine. They break down fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. A body system that the digestive system interacts with often is the circulatory system. The circulatory system distributes nutrients from the small intestine throughout the body through the bloodstream. It also carries chemical signals from the endocrine system to control digestion rate. Another body system that the digestive system interacts with often is the excretory system. Together, the two systems remove solid waste after nutrient absorption into the blood from the small intestine. And finally, another body system that the digestive system interacts with is the nervous system. The nervous system controls the rate of gastrointestinal motility, nutrient handling, gastric acid secretion, and other functions within the GI tract. Okay, so the basic nutrient requirements for an average adult per day would be 50 grams of protein, 70 grams of fat, 310 grams of carbohydrates, 90 grams of sugar, 2.3 grams of sodium, 30 grams of dietary fiber, and 24 grams of saturated fatty acid for 8,700 kilojoules of energy. Alright, so common foods that do meet these nutritional requirements include low-fat milk, low-fat yogurt, and salmon. And here are some foods that do not meet the nutritional requirements. They include burgers and fries, pizza, and chips. Governmental regulations in the U.S. concerning nutrition include food labeling to inform consumers of the nutrition facts of the food they're buying, FDA regulations to promote food safety and public health, and school lunch programs to ensure that students get the proper nutrition. Some international regulations include dietary guidelines to educate people on proper nutrition, and the World Health Organization by the UN to promote food security and healthy eating. In comparing the digestive system to the earthworm, both the human and the earthworm have a mouth, pharynx, and intestines for nutrient absorption. However, some differences include the earthworm having a crop for food storage and a gizzard to grind the food using stones that it has eaten. In comparison to the crawfish, the human and crawfish digestive systems both have a stomach, esophagus, and 3 guts: the foregut, the midgut, and the hindgut. However, some differences between the two include the crawfish having a maxilla to move water out to its gills and 3 maxillipeds to hold food.
Now we're going to talk about diseases affecting the digestive system. These are 3 of many diseases that affect the digestive system. First is acid reflux. It is a digestive disease in which stomach acids or bile irritates food pile lining. And here you can see it affects the esophagus, the stomach, and the lower esophageal sphincter. Symptoms may include heartburn and regurgitation. Rare symptoms include bloating, bloody or black stools or bloody vomiting, burping, dysphagia, hiccups, nausea, weight loss, wheezing, dry cough, hoarseness, or chronic sore throats. Some causes may include eating large meals or lying right after a meal, being overweight or obese, eating a heavy meal and lying on your back or bending over at the waist, snacking close to bedtime, eating certain foods such as citrus, tomato, chocolate, mint, garlic, onions, or spicy or fatty foods, drinking certain beverages such as alcohol, carbonated drinks, coffee, or tea, smoking, being pregnant, also taking aspirin, ibuprofen, certain muscle relaxants, or blood pressure medication may cause acid reflux. Another digestive system disease is diarrhea, and it is a condition in which feces are discharged from the bowels frequently and in liquid form. Diarrhea may be caused by bacteria or parasites found in food or water. Mild symptoms may include an urgent feeling that you need to have a bowel movement, thin or loose stools, watery stool, nausea and vomiting, bloating in your belly, and cramps. More severe symptoms may include fever and bloody mucus or undigested food in the stool, and even weight loss. Causes of diarrhea include alcohol abuse, allergies to certain foods, diabetes, diseases of the intestines, eating foods that upset the digestive system, infection by bacteria or other organisms, laxative abuse, medication, overactive thyroids, radiation therapy, running, some cancers, surgery on your digestive system, trouble absorbing some nutrition. The last disease that we're going to learn about is hemorrhoids, which are swollen and inflamed veins in the rectum and anus that cause discomfort and bleeding. Symptoms include pain. Causes of hemorrhoids include obesity, pregnancy, standing or sitting for a long time, straining during bowel movements, coughing, sneezing, vomiting, holding your breath when you do something that's physically hard. Now for some fun facts. Here we go. Did you know the average human being has over 400 different species of bacteria in their colon? Also, the stomach of an adult holds up to 1.5 liters of food, and food stays there for 2 to 3 hours. Although the large intestine is up to 4 inches in diameter, the small intestine is only 1 inch in diameter. The whole digestive tract is over 29 feet long, starting at the mouth and ending at the anus.
Alright, so this has been the digestive system. Thank you for watching.